I'm Misha, Adobe creator and producer of the Deep Dive podcast. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 23A, and today we will be doing a deep dive into the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Okay, it looks like Grace and David have their snacks ready and are settled in behind the microphones, so let's get going.
That music, you hear that, right? Takes you straight back. Shimmering gates, maybe a guard yelling somewhere.
Definitely. Stop right there, criminal scum. Echoes in the memory banks.
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today, the return of, well, a proper legend. The Elder Scrolls IV, Oblivion Remastered.
So Oblivion, right, originally hit the scene way back in 2006.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
And it was huge. It really changed things for RPGs, that massive open world.
It really did. And now, almost 20 years on, it's back. And the key thing from this article, they stress this isn't just some quick texture update.
No, it sounds much bigger. Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
But they've teamed up with Virtuos for this one.
Right. Virtuos has a good track record with ports and remasters, and, fans have been asking for this for years. So the why now is partly just finally meeting that demand.
And the scope seems ambitious. The article says far more than a simple texture pack.
Yeah, that's the quote. The core idea seems to be, okay, let's make Oblivion feel modern, but without losing what made it Oblivion in the first place. Preserving the essence, they call it.
Okay, so preserving the essence but making it look modern. How? They mentioned Unreal Engine 5. Now, for people like me, what does that actually mean in terms of how it looks?
Good question. So think of Unreal Engine 5 as like a completely new, really powerful toolbox for the developers compared to what they had back in 2006, night and day.
Okay.
So for you, playing the game, it means texture should be way sharper, not muddy like they sometimes were. Character models are updated, hopefully. Less potato face this time around.
We can only hope.
Right. And a huge part is the lighting. UE5 does some amazing things with light. How it bounces, how it creates shadows in dungeons, sunlight through trees. It should just feel much more atmospheric, more real.
So like global illumination and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. That tech makes light behave much more naturally. So deeper shadows, brighter highlights, just richer environments overall, more detail in the plants, the buildings, everything.
Okay, I'm sold on the visuals. But a pretty world isn't everything. What about actually playing it? The article mentioned gameplay tweaks.
Yeah, they definitely didn't just focus on looks. A big one seems to be making combat feel, better, more responsive.
How so?
They specifically added a dodge button that suggests, combat might be a bit more dynamic, less just standing there trading blows.
Okay. A dodge button could change things up quite a bit. Anything else?
Sprinting. They added the ability to sprint.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Seriously, remember hoofing it across the entire map?
Oh, yeah. Just walking. And sprinting is a massive quality of life improvement. It'll make just exploring Cyrodiil feel so much, less like a chore sometimes.
Definitely needed.
Yeah.
Now, the leveling system. The original Oblivion system was...
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
Memorable. Let's say that.
Yeah.
What's the deal now?
Yeah, memorable is one word for it. It could be a bit counterintuitive. Like you had to deliberately not use certain skills to level up efficiently.
Right. You had to game the system.
Exactly. So the article says they aimed for middle ground, something between the original Oblivion system and the much more streamlined system in Skyrim.
Okay, so how does that middle ground work, roughly?
Well, it sounds like they want progression to feel rewarding, like in Oblivion, but without forcing you to play in weird ways. Maybe skill use contributes more directly, like Skyrim, but perhaps major minor skills still play a role. The article wasn't super specific, but middle ground suggests a balance.
That sounds promising, actually. A good compromise, maybe. Something else caught my eye, expanded audio with new voice lines.
Yeah, that was an interesting little nugget. It doesn't say how many new lines or for who, but just the fact they recorded new stuff is intriguing.
Could mean less repetition, maybe fleshing out some conversations.
Potentially. Or maybe adding more ambient chatter. It's subtle, but little things like that can really boost immersion,
True. Okay, so visuals, gameplay, audio. But Oblivion was also just massive. What about all that content? Is it all here?
Yes, absolutely. The article is crystal clear on this. You get the complete package, the base game, which is already enormous, plus every single piece of DLC they ever released.
That's a good piece. So the big ones too.
Yeah.
Shivering Isles, Knights of the Nine.
Definitely. Both of those huge expansions are included. Hours and hours of extra gameplay right there.
And the smaller stuff, the player houses, the extra quests.
All of it. Fighter Stronghold, Spell Tomes, Vile Air. Maroon's Razor, The Thieves' Den, Wizard's Tower, Orrery.
Wait for it.
And yes, even the infamous horse armor pack, it's all bundled in. The complete saga.
They actually included the horse armor.
Wow. Okay, so if people want to jump back in or maybe play for the first time, where can they get it?
It's on the current main platforms, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Standard stuff. PC via Steam.
Yep, Steam and apparently other PC storefronts too. And a big one, it's on Xbox Game Pass. Oh, nice. Day one on Game Pass.
Seems so. That'll definitely get it in front of a lot of players straight away.
Good strategy. Okay, money. How much does it cost? Are there different versions?
There are. You've got the standard edition, which is $49.99 USD. That gets you the base game and all that DLC we just talked about.
Okay, $50 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the other option?
There's a deluxe edition for $59.99 USD, so $10 more.
What does the extra tenner get you?
Some interesting extras for fans, it seems. New quests, one themed around Akatosh, one around Marunas Dagon, which come with themed armor and weapon sets.
Ooh, new quests. That's cool.
Yeah. Plus, you get a digital art book and a soundtrack app. And if you buy the standard first, you can upgrade to deluxe later.
All right, so options are good. Those new quests sound like a nice bonus for returning players. How's it been received? It only came out a few days ago, right?
Yeah, very recently. And apparently the reaction's been pretty strong. The article mentioned over 4 million players jumped in within the first few days.
4 million. Wow, that's huge.
It really is. And on places like Steam, it's sitting at a very positive rating.
Yeah.
So it seems like the majority of players are, happy with it.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Any word on bugs or patches?
The article notes that Bethesda is actively listening to feedback, planning future improvements. So sounds like they're committed to ironing out any kinks, which is standard these days, but good to hear confirmed.
Definitely. Now, there's this whole other fascinating angle, the Skyblivion project. Some people might not know what that is.
Right, Skyblivion. It's this incredible long-running fan project. Basically, a huge team of volunteers has been working for years to recreate the entire world of Oblivion, but using the Skyrim engine.
So like building Oblivion inside Skyrim.
Exactly.
They
It's a massive undertaking, all volunteer-driven.
So now that there's an official remaster out, what does that mean for them? Are they stopping?
Nope, not at all. According to their team leads, they are still full steam ahead, aiming for their own release in 2025.
Really? Even with the official one out?
Yeah. Their view is interesting. They think both versions can exist side by side. Because Skyblivion is built in the Skyrim engine, it'll inherently feel and maybe even play a bit differently than this official remaster, which is on UE5, but presumably sticking closer to original mechanics.
So they see them as offering, like, different flavors of Oblivion.
Pretty much. 2 different ways to revisit Cyrodiil. And what's really cool is how Bethesda's reacting.
How so? Are they trying to shut it down?
Quite the opposite, actually. The article mentions Bethesda gave the Skyblivion team keys to the official remaster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they've publicly said they won't interfere with the fan project. It's a really positive gesture towards the modding community.
That is classy. Good on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. What's the big picture here? What does this whole Oblivion Remastered thing signify?
Trade in your boring job for a brilliant career using Adobe Creative Cloud. Start learning now with the free trial link in the description.
Well, I think it really highlights how much staying power these classic games have, doesn't it? This is a landmark RPG, a game that really shaped the genre.
For sure.
And bringing it back like this, rebuilt with modern tech, tweaking the gameplay, bundling everything together. It's Bethesda and Virtuos basically saying, okay, we want a whole new generation to experience this.
Oh, wait, bring in the newcomers.
Exactly. But also give the veterans, the people...
Dive. A major visual upgrade thanks to Unreal Engine 5, smoother gameplay with additions like sprinting and dodge, refined leveling.
Plus all the original content, every bit of DLC included. And a really strong initial launch, lots of players, positive reviews.
And that interesting situation with the Skyblivion fan project continuing alongside it, with Bethesda's blessing even.
Exactly. So hopefully for you listening, you've now got a really solid handle on what this Oblivion Remastered is all about. Saved you some time, gave you the key takeaways.
Yeah, you should be well equipped to decide if you want to jump back into Cyrodiil.
And it leaves you with something to think about, maybe. With both an official, polished remaster and this passionate, fan-driven recreation happening at the same time, what does that actually tell us about how we relate to these older games we love? Like, what kind of preservation do we value more? The official polish or the fan reimagining? Or is there room for both?
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. I'm Misha, and let me send out a huge thank you for listening. If you want more content on gaming, education, or other fun stuff, head over and find me on YouTube. Link is in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.